This news will probably leave Angel Reese's mom in shambles at this point. Of course, she's upset.
You guys haven't seen much, but if you guys did not see right here, the Fever Brazil game came to 1.3 million viewers. 1.3 million viewers to an exhibition game. Not even a preseason game. An exhibition game. An exhibition game. An exhibition game. They came to an exhibition game. Or say they came to watch an exhibition game. That was a 60-point game, and Caitlin Clark checked out at the end of the third quarter. And it averaged 1.3 million viewers, which is absolutely crazy.
If you thought the WNBA preseason was going to be a quiet warm-up, Caitlin Clark just turned it into the Super Bowl with a ponytail. Over 1.3 million people tuned in to watch her bounce a ball, yes, in the preseason. While Angel Reese's game, bless her heart, struggled to get her own cousin to watch. This isn't just basketball, it's a national obsession with Clark Mania, and the season hasn't even started. What is she? LeBron with a jump shot and a book talk fan base?
Caitlin Clark, folks. We were the only ones waiting around, hovering around our campfire, staying warm through the winter season. Man, is Caitlin Clark's Fever basketball going to return? We were the only ones chomping at the bits, waiting to watch Caitlin Clark play. It seems like the rest of the country was waiting in suspense along with.
The WNBA preseason hasn't even stretched its legs yet, and Caitlin Clark has already turned it into Super Bowl Sunday. Now seriously, while the rest of the league was stretching hamstrings and pretending people cared, Caitlin Clark casually pulled in 1.3 million viewers like it was just another Tuesday. Meanwhile, somewhere in a dimly lit corner of irrelevance, Angel Reese was probably waving a foam finger.
Caitlin Clark is really back, and so is that CC motion. Look, I know I've said before I don't want to talk about repeats, and this topic isn't really brand new, but it feels fresh in a sense because we finally saw Caitlin Clark back out on the basketball floor.
Desperately hoping anyone would notice she was also on a court. You see, Caitlin didn't just show up to play basketball. She showed up, reprogrammed the sports media matrix, and had ESPN execs high-fiving like they just discovered the next Michael Jordan, if he had a 40-foot range and a clean ponytail. Angel Reese, on the other hand, had trouble getting people to remember what team she even plays for. One brought eyeballs, ratings, and hope. The other brought, well, we'll get to that.
This was a preseason WNBA game. Do you understand what I mean? A preseason WNBA game. By the way, why the hell is the Paige Beckers and Angel Reese ratings from Ion Network Friday, why are they MIA right now? I'm going to be very interested to see what those ratings look like when they come out. Oh my God, bro, you're such a racist. Okay. Well, I mean, we're literally talking about TV ratings, but this is called compare and contrast for you low IQ folks out there.
Let's not pretend this is just about basketball. If it were, Angel Reese would be a footnote in someone else's highlight reel. And honestly, even that might be generous. While Caitlin's game was airing in HD across America like a blockbuster premiere, Angel's games could barely scrape together enough viewers to fill a group chat. In fact, some of her clips were so sparsely watched, even the bots on Twitter refused to engage. You know it's bad when your highlight reel has fewer views than a microwave tutorial.
It is. I mean this is great for women's sports. It's great for the Fever. And if you've looked at anything from the Brazil team, they were absolutely nothing but class the entire time. They were so happy to be able to play that game. They were so happy to be able to play in front of that crowd. They were probably so happy playing in front of a million people. I didn't care they lost by 60. They were just happy to be able to play against that.
Caitlin didn't just break the preseason record. She demolished it, took a hammer to it, planted a flag, and kept dribbling. She didn't need drama. She didn't need to stir Twitter feuds, and she certainly didn't need to throw a TikTok tantrum to get attention. She just let her game talk, and America listened, loudly. Meanwhile, Angel Reese has been trying to use the look at me, I misunderstood playbook. Spoiler alert, it's not working when nobody's watching to begin with. You could almost hear the panic echoing from the Angel Reese PR team bunker. How are we losing the preseason? It's not even real yet. But that's the point. Caitlin Clark is making fake games feel real, and Angel Reese is making real games feel fake. One is elevating the league, the other is just elevating her Instagram captions.
Million viewers. Oh God. Oh goodness gracious. More watch than any NBA preseason game since 2018. Nasty. All but 2 NBA preseason games since 2010. Nasty. Game 1 of the 2024 WNBA Finals. Oh. Game 1, 1.1 million viewers. Caitlin Clark shows up just to play some preseason ball at her alma mater. 1.3 million viewers. Folks, NBA Finals numbers this year, once the Fever get there, yeah, we're talking 3 million plus. It is what it is.
This is Fox News at 8 p.m. Numbers. Cable executives are now learning what the WNBA stands for. Winning numbers. Meanwhile, Angel Reese could barely get her cousin to turn on the TV without a reminder text. If Caitlin's game was a rock concert, Angel's was a free flute recital at a food court. It's as if Caitlin showed up to the preseason like, hey, I'm here to bring legitimacy, entertainment, and skill, and Angel responded with, yeah, but I'm gonna scowl real hard and hope someone cares. The only record Angel Reese seems to be setting is most attempts at staying relevant without playing particularly well. And bless her heart, she's trying. But while she's out here modeling for fashion brands and offering boss babe quotes like a walking Pinterest board, Caitlin's out here launching threes like she's trying to hit satellite.
Finals. I'm not saying this to crap on anything else because I think the WNBA Finals numbers were very good last year and they got better as they went along. It's just more about how impressive it is that a preseason game in any sport, right? Forget Caitlin Clark for a second. Forget any of those things. That a preseason game in any sport could outrate any game of the finals championship series. And the context on the NBA preseason games, the last NBA preseason games to do so, both to outrate that game, both involved LeBron James, and one was his first game with the Lakers. The other one, the one in 2017 there, as you can see from this Rebecca Lobo tweet, barely outrated this. And there's the graphic from ESPN as they share it. Average of 1.3 million viewers, a peak of 1.6 million viewers. That's up 13% from the regular season last year.
Now let's address the uncomfortable truth that every sports commentator whispers but won't say aloud. The moment Caitlin Clark steps on the court, the audience size triples, the media frenzy explodes, and the WNBA's Google Trends graph looks like it took a hit of pre-workout. But when Angel Reese is on the screen, the silence is deafening. The scoreboard might be on, but the viewers, they've logged off, gone to brunch and forgotten the channel. And of course, we have to endure the usual post-game interviews where Angel Reese insists she's changing the game. Girl, what game? The only game changing is the one that Caitlin's playing, while you're stuck in a loop of forced catchphrases and sulky fouls. Caitlin is out there bringing actual skill and charisma, while Angel is out here bringing mood swings and manufactured beef. Somehow, Caitlin Clark's three-pointers have more personality than half of Angel's interviews. And let's be honest, most people aren't tuning into Caitlin to hate watch. They're watching because she's genuinely exciting. She pulls up from the logo, hits shots you wouldn't even try in 2K, and then jogs back down the court like it's nothing.
Caitlin Clark's preseason debut drew 1.3 million viewers. That's nuts, folks. And just to give you an idea, I did pull up other ratings from that day. This game beat NHL playoff ratings. Think about that a minute. National Hockey League playoff ratings, a WNBA game, a preseason WNBA game, not only beat those ratings, destroyed them.
Meanwhile, Angel's out here missing free throws like she's allergic to scoring efficiently. Even the WNBA itself, this league that has been begging for viewership since the Clinton administration, is looking at Caitlin like she's manna from heaven, and she's not even officially started yet. This was preseason. You know, the time when fans are usually still trying to remember who got traded where? And here comes Caitlin turning the preseason into a primetime event, while Angel is turning her minutes into the basketball equivalent of elevator music. And the best part? Caitlin's not doing any of it with drama. No gimmicks, no social media feuds, just buckets. Meanwhile, Angel is out here playing the villain with no storyline. She's cosplaying Dennis Rodman without any of the rebounding stats or, cultural impact. It's all bark, no ball. Caitlin Clark is the kind of player who brings moms, dads, grandparents, and toddlers to the screen. Angel Reese? She's struggling to bring her own fans to the arena. Like if enthusiasm were ticket sales, Angel's section would still be in pre-sale mode.
Dad, no news on the Chicago Sky game from Friday. No news. No news from the Paige Beckers game on Friday. No news. I'm sure it's going to come out, but when we're not over the moon thrilled with the numbers that we're seeing, when we just can't come out dragging with the numbers that we have, we got to play it slow. We got to play it cool. They'll come out in due time. In due time.
Caitlin makes you want to watch basketball. Angel makes you want to check if your Wi-Fi's broken. Let's not forget the classic Angel Reese defense mechanism, haters gonna hate. No, darling, viewers aren't hating, they're just absent. The most savage response isn't a clapback tweet, it's people not watching. That's the real mic drop. And Caitlin dropped it without saying a word. And how about media coverage? Every sports outlet was drooling over Caitlin's preseason debut. ESPN, CBS, Sports Illustrated, all throwing confetti like she just walked on water. It's the journalistic equivalent of being the and guest on a party invitation. Caitlin Clark is being treated like the prodigy she is, while Angel Reese is out here demanding main character energy in a story she's barely contributing to. Caitlin is lifting an entire league. Angel is lifting her camera phone for another self-congratulatory selfie. And let's not pretend this isn't driving Angel crazy. You can feel it in every passive-aggressive tweet and every shade-laced interview. It's like watching someone audition for a movie that's already been cast. Sorry, Angel. The lead role is taken. And the audience loves her.
This was huge. This is just huge. And it just showed how many people were looking for this game, how many people wanted to watch this game. That you had 1.3 million. If I'm not mistaken, outside of the WNBA Finals, there were no games on without Caitlin Clark last year in the WNBA regular season or playoffs.
It's almost impressive how much Angel Reese can talk without saying anything useful. Meanwhile, Caitlin Clark's stat line does all the talking. One gives post-game lectures on how she's always been doubted despite being celebrated for years. The other drops 18 points in 20 minutes and calls it light work. It's not just a skill gap, it's a relevance chasm. Caitlin Clark is the moment, the movement, and the must-watch. Angel Reese is, still explaining why she should matter, while the public tunes into someone who actually does. And the worst part, Angel knows it. You can see it on her face every time Caitlin's name trends, which is roughly every 20 minutes. She can't say it out loud, but deep down, she knows she's watching someone else live the spotlight she thought she ordered. And now she's stuck playing sidekick in a show she thought was hers. You can't fake star power, you can't PR your way into popularity, and you certainly can't pout your way into ratings. Caitlin Clark didn't just win the viewership war, she didn't even realize it was a battle. Meanwhile, Angel's out here swinging at shadows and wondering why no one's clapping.
People were ready. They were there beforehand, checking it out, watching it beforehand, getting pumped, getting hyped. And then you just talk about the effect that's gone on from last season. I guess I use effect with purpose. But Sundays, this is from Sports Media Watch, I believe. Sunday's WNBA preseason game between the Indiana Fever and Brazilian national team, which took place from Clark's alma mater at Iowa, averaged 1.3 million viewers on ESPN, a figure that exceeds all but 2 NBA preseason games on the network dating back to 2010. Indiana's blowout win was the 34th WNBA telecast in the past year to average a 7-figure audience, with Clark having figured in 26.
So let's give credit where it's due. Caitlin Clark just made WNBA preseason appointment television, and honestly, she might as well have been playing with a spotlight permanently following her every move. She brought the action, the drama, the heart, everything you want in a game that'll leave you on the edge of your seat even if it's the preseason. Clark is a showstopper, effortlessly drawing in crowds and turning heads with her playmaking and leadership. She embodies the kind of player you can't take your eyes off, even if you don't know what a pick and roll is. Then there's Angel Reese. Don't get me wrong, Reese is undeniably talented, but her recent performances have been, let's say, less about the game and more about the attitude. She's all about making sure everyone knows she's the one. But unfortunately, that confidence often comes off as excuses when things don't go as planned. She's got a presence, but sometimes it feels more like awkward energy than awe. When Clark is doing her thing, it feels electric. When Reese is in the spotlight, you can't help but wonder if she's focusing on the wrong parts of her game.
Who thought that we would see the day where WNBA numbers were overtaking NBA numbers? And you guys, I predict that this is going to be something that happens for the entirety of the WNBA season, especially with this Indiana Fever team. This is motion, this is hype like we have never seen, and I thought it was going to be like this, but when you see the numbers right in front of you, 1.3 million viewers for a preseason game, and a preseason game where they won by 64 points. Now, this is no shade to the Brazilian national team, but the Brazilian national team is not better than any WNBA team. That is the worst team that the Indiana Fever is going to play for the entirety of.
At the end of the day, the scoreboard doesn't lie, and neither do the Nielsen ratings. A whopping 1.3 million viewers tuned in to watch Caitlin Clark before the season even officially kicked off. That's not hype, that's pure, unfiltered history in the making. This is the kind of star power that doesn't just break records, it redefines what we think is possible for women's sports. Caitlin Clark has become a household name, and people are tuning in, buying merch, and setting alarms just to see her in action. Sure, it's a little too quiet for primetime glory, but hey, it's a marketable look for someone who's not quite hitting the same high notes as Clark. At this rate, maybe Reese can bring in a few fans by starting a new trend, the underdog hustle. Maybe she'll even throw in a few "we'll get 'em next time" motivational posters for extra flair. Keep dreaming, Angel.
My goodness. And this just goes back to yesterday when I was talking about how she's just Michael Jordan-esque when it comes to the popularity, man. I mean, signing the other team's jersey, like the crowd that was there, now the viewership come out and it's 1.3 million.
But hey, maybe there's hope. If Caitlin Clark continues to elevate the Women's College Basketball League with her jaw-dropping performances, there might just be a few extra viewers left over to notice Angel Reese. And by extra viewers, I mean those who have somehow managed to tear themselves away from the drama on Netflix or the latest TikTok dance craze long enough to witness a game. You know, as long as they don't blink, because blink and you might miss the spark of greatness that Angel Reese brings to the court. Sure, Caitlin Clark has been an absolute phenomenon, but the fact that Reese is putting up numbers that deserve just as much attention is kind of the sports world's best-kept secret, just buried under an avalanche of media focus on, one specific player. Angel Reese is over here, practically rewriting the playbook on what it means to dominate the paint, and yet we're still somehow in this constant struggle to get her the recognition she deserves. At this point, if Caitlin keeps this momentum going, we might get to a point where both stars can shine equally, assuming we don't blink and miss it.